Rideshares revolutionized transportation with lower prices and better access in all of Chicago's neighborhoods. But now the pandemic and less competition could be causing a rideshare surge.
That's like $50 going there and back.
Donna Powell counts on Uber and Lyft to take her about 1.8 miles or 7 minutes from her Austin neighborhood apartment to her job at a veterans hall near the Illinois Medical District. Your ride to work used to be about $12. What is it now?
$20, $25, $30.
Powell says she started seeing that increase within the last few months and shared what she says are screenshots of some surges. We even checked with her while we were there. And so an Uber is $23.
Yeah.
She says public transit doesn't work for her schedule and she's avoiding it during the pandemic.
You sitting there on your couch, you're in tears because you're like, I got to get to work.
Powell is not alone. The cost of ride shares are on the rise across Chicago and the suburbs. The I-Team took screenshots of prices over the last 2 months. Relatively quick rides costing $15, $20, even $30. Rides which I remember used to range from $8 to $13 several months ago. The reason? Demand is higher, but there are fewer drivers.
The recovery in ridership has been better than expected. On the other hand, the recovery in drivers is still at about 50% or so. And that would then explain why the prices would go up. It's supply and demand.
Hani Mamasani is the director of Northwestern University's Transportation Center. He believes demand is also partially fueled by reluctance to take mass transit.
In many people's mind, transit is not quite yet a viable option.
The Independent Drivers Guild of Chicago also says COVID-19 risks and carjackings have kept drivers off the road.
I'm not seeing no more in my pocket.
Lyft driver Ronnie Nelson says he's not cashing in on the surge.
She was charged $20, and off that trip I made $6.
Some drivers showed us what they make on rides. They may only pocket about half or less of the total trip cost. This ride I took was $14. The Uber driver showed me he got $4.58. Uber says median earnings for Chicago drivers before tips is approximately $36 an hour. Lyft says overall, drivers have seen an increase in earnings since before the pandemic, and that they make an average of $31 an hour. Both companies say they're working to bring more drivers on the road to meet the increased demands from riders. Mamasani says the rideshare demand is also high because of the disappearance of taxi cabs. We've been looking for about 10 minutes for cabs. Here's a Lyft in the loop for $22.80, and an Uber X is $25. Cab driver Robert Ago says many drivers were avoiding downtown even before the pandemic because consumers were choosing rideshares.
Cabs are not needed anymore.
Ago says he and his fellow drivers now mostly go to airports. He shared this picture of a fleet of taxis in a friend's backyard, parked since March of 2020. The medallion's worth a small fraction of what most paid.
I spent for this $60,000 a year ago.
The city says 1,480 licensed cabs remain on the road. In 2014, there were 6,600 cited in an I-Team report. If you can find one, cabs may now be the cheaper option. Prices are regulated by the city. You can also get one on the Curb and Arrow apps. Powell says cabs are rarely in her neighborhood, so she says she's forced to pay more for rideshare.
It's ridiculous.
Prices should level out as more drivers return, but there are some things you can do right now. You can schedule your rides in advance on rideshare apps. That may save you a few bucks. You can also sign up for rideshare plans on apps. That will cost you a monthly fee, but the price per ride could be lower.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.